everyone, so it's Christy from Green Eyed Tarot, and I thought I would just come on today to film like a little August update slash favorites video, just kind of things that I've been enjoying in the month of August. It's been a really busy month for me in terms of work, and it's about to get a lot busier as we head into September. So, haven't had a ton of time to focus on the things that, I typically enjoy in my spare time, but I have managed to, enjoy some decks and some books, and I've been really trying to, work on using the decks that I have, as I kind of spoke about in the video I filmed about deck overwhelm. I'm not really bringing any new decks right now into my collection. I think I only have one to share, but other than that, it's decks that I already had that I'm really focusing on using. So I've been enjoying, using some of those over the last month, and like I said, some books, a couple of other things that I'd like to share with you guys. But yeah, so just kind of a really relaxed little look into what I've been doing for the month of August. So hopefully you have a drink. I do. We'll start with that for the favorite things that I'm enjoying. So this is the Nutty Pumpkin Iced Coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. So they've already started with pumpkin everything here, which is fine with me because I can't stand the summer and I'm ready for the fall. So, but it's still really hot and humid here, so I get to enjoy iced coffee, but with pumpkin flavor. So I think it's a shot of hazelnut and they put that pumpkin swirl in it. I get it with oat milk. It's really good. It's nutty, it's pumpkin-y. It's good. I'm definitely enjoying that. And kind of staying along the lines of autumn and getting ready for fall. I got this candle, which I typically don't like candles that smell like food, but this one's called Cinnamon Bun. So, and it's a giant 26-ounce candle, so it's huge. And it smells exactly like a cinnamon bun. Cinnamon, nutmeg, maple, vanilla. And I love nutmeg. So this is definitely giving off the fall, vibes with the cinnamon and the nutmeg. But it smells just like a cinnamon bun, and it just like fall. And I got this at, I think I got this at Home Goods. I think it was like $9.99, and it does look like a Yankee Candle. It's not. It's called Village Candle, so it's sort of like a knockoff, but it smells really good. It burns like really evenly. It's like really fragrant. So yeah, so I'm enjoying this cinnamon bun candle, which is just definitely getting me ready for the fall. It's putting me in those fall vibes for sure. So I'm trying to think what else. Oh, so this is something that I actually got a few weeks ago that I'm definitely excited about. I'm not sure how I'm gonna use it yet. I kind of have an idea, but I got this really pretty, it's kind of like a journal. Yeah, it's a journal. It's like a journal slash calendar sort of slash planner. But I got this at Barnes & Noble. I just happened to walk past one of the end caps, and there it was, and it says She is Magic Manifestations, which I absolutely love. And it's like that velvet, like a velvety cover, which is like really nice. And the reason I picked this up is I really like the format of it. So it's got lined pages, but then it's got, so it has all the months, January, February through December, and then all the numbers, the days through 31. So you can basically, it's like as you go, you'll circle the month and the day. So this to me is really amazing and awesome for me because it's not going to stress me out that I'm not writing in this every day if I don't write it in every day, because I tend to skip days, so the fact that it just has sort of like an open-ended format is really perfect for me. So I'm super excited about this because I really think I'm going to use this as part of my tarot practice to record tarot spreads, and this way I can note the date on here, and I don't have to feel that pressure of every day, writing in this book. So, but it's really nice. Like I said, it's a nice size, definitely. And it has this like beautiful cover. Like I said, it's just nice to feel. And like I said, the format's going to work perfect for me. So that's definitely something that I'm excited about getting started with and adding to my practice. I'm trying to think. Oh, some other fun things that I have been using this month, which I'm really really enjoying. This little box here, and it's holding a little wax seal stamp. So this is a little kit that that I got. I got this off a little shop. I'll see if I can definitely link it below. So it comes with the little wood handle and it has the wax stamp on it. You can see it's a moon, but then it comes with 5 other interchangeable stamps. So here's another little moon. Hopefully it focuses. And then, and this is like, it's supposed to look like sort of crystals and a moon. And then, oh, I love this one. This one's like one of my favorites. So this is like a little kitty. Looks like it's sitting in a window, and then it's got the moon phases. I don't even know if it's coming up, but there we go. That's the right way. And then we have this beautiful one, which looks like mountains, like a mountain scene with the moon. And then this one is awesome because it looks like a little potion bottle. And so I've been using these to seal the top of my spell bottles that I make. So I'm just super excited about just another way to like seal the spell bottles that I make, because I do use spell bottles quite a lot in my practice. So and these are like really heavy, like really good quality. They're like solid and heavy, and you just screw off, you know, the one, it's like a little screw top, and then screw the next one on when you want to use it. They're just, I've been really enjoying using these wax seals, just like literally putting them everywhere, like putting wax seals in my grimoire. It's just been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed sort of adding this element to it. And so, yeah, so it's been a lot of fun to use this little kit, and I look forward to using it even more. And like I said, for sealing spell bottles, it's been like amazing, and it's been fun to use it in that way. And like I said, just add them to different things. I plan, you know, hopefully at the holidays when I send holiday cards, you know, maybe seal the envelope. So I'm really looking forward to using that in a different way, and kind of just having fun with that and playing with it, because it's been fun to do that. I'm trying to think in terms of books. So I talked about the journal. Oh, crystal. Let's do the crystal. There's only one right now. I mean, I use crystals all the time, but in terms of a favorite right now is this flower agate, which hopefully you can kind of see. Focus, camera, focus. So this is a flower agate. So this is a free form flower agate. And flower agate is like a stone of beginnings. It's a stone of dreams. It's a stone of transformation and change. Flower agate is connected to the heart and root chakra. So, you know, it's about inner joy and happiness, and also you know, that with the root, it's association with the root chakra. So sort of that grounding, you know, energy as well. So I'm just loving working with it. It's really pretty. It's really nice to hold in my hand. It like kind of fits. It's a free form, but it fits like perfectly in the palm of my hand. It almost like with this point, it like fits just right there. So yeah, so I've really enjoyed this flower agate. It's just beautiful. And yeah, I just love the energy it has, you know, that happiness, that inner joy, that, you know, sort of that grounding, that root chakra energy, transformation and change, you know, all rolled into one stone. So yeah, so flower agate has been using that quite a bit, and just kind of liking the energy that it's bringing, you know, which is nice too. So I'm trying to think books, book wise. So along the lines of the favorite crystal from this month, I got this book called Gemstone and Crystal Magic, and this is by Gerina Dunwich. So I actually heard about this book on Dustin at Modern Metaphysicae, and I'll definitely link his channel below. He was talking about like recent occult, you know, and occult book releases, and he actually mentioned this one, and I was sort of like immediately intrigued, and then I was so happy to find it at my local Barnes and Noble, which was great when I was browsing there, as I typically do once a week. So A Modern Witch's Guide to Using Stones for Spells, Amulets, Rituals, and Divination. So it's a little bit different than any book I have. You know, the Book of Stones is like that huge book that I go to for reference of the different crystals and their properties and things like that. This is, you know, this, it has that too, but this is definitely more, as it relates to, using them for different spells and spell work, which is really interesting to me because I already use crystals, but I really want to start using them more and being able to incorporate them into my practice. So this book is, so far, I haven't read it cover to cover, but so far what I have read has been really interesting. And it talks about like hag stones, which is cool. And it talks a little bit about runes. So yeah, so it seems like it's going to be a really interesting book. And like I said, something like I don't have in my collection and in my library right now. Just, not a book like anything else that I have. So I'm super excited about this one, Gemstones and Crystal Magic. And let's see. So the other book that sort of I came across, which really doesn't have anything to do with witchcraft or tarot, but I got it at a used bookstore, is called The Seven Daughters of Eve by Bryan Sykes. And I have like just dove into this book because I think I've talked about a little bit before on my channel about how interested I am in like genealogy and ancestry, and just and how it pertains to me personally. So this book sort of like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, the science that reveals our genetic ancestry. I was like sold pretty much, but Bryan Sykes is a geneticist. He's a scientist. And, in 1994, he was like called in to examine, the remains of a man that they found that was trapped in ice in like prehistoric glacial ice in northern Italy. And basically he extracted DNA and he was like able to directly link that DNA to Europeans that are living today, or at that point, but basically modern Europeans. And it's called The Seven Daughters of Eve because the extraction process and this scientific process of processing DNA and how they target certain types of DNA and strands and things. It's very scientific, some of it, but this book, it does include some of that, but it is written so that you can read it and understand it, which is great. Because I don't have a science brain and, some of it is like, would be way over my head, but basically they were able to trace DNA to 7 prehistoric women, hence the 7 Daughters of Eve. It's just really interesting. And like I said, I'm already sort of a genetic and ancestry nerd to begin with. So this was just perfect, especially to find it at a used bookstore. I think I got it for like $2 or $3. It's, it's in great shape, but I started reading it and I got really involved and almost couldn't put it down. But, so yeah, so I'm super excited about this. Like I said, my ancestry and genetic nerdiness is definitely loving this. So I'm super excited about that. What else? I think that's really it for books. The only other book that I've really, sort of delved into this month, in addition to the fiction book that I was reading, which I talked about in July, that I haven't finished yet, of course, just because I don't have time to really finish any books, it seems like lately. But the only other book that I've delved into like super deep this month, is a book that I've already read, but I just came back to again and again because it's just brilliant. And it's just, to me, this is like the tarot Bible. So 78 Degrees of Wisdom by the incomparable Rachel Pollack. I've just, I started delving into this again, and, I've been diligently writing notes and highlighting, and this is the newer edition, which I did get because like I said, I've had this book for a long time. I read this book, many times, because this is basically how, when I was learning to read tarot, and I just thought this is a great back to basics. And, I'm just sort of like being reminded so much of why I love it to begin with, why I loved it, why I'm coming back to it. And I'm really kind of getting back to basics. I'm actually gonna start filming some videos about getting back to tarot basics and just the relationship and connections between cards and sort of reading them, as a system, and especially the minor arcana, which is, I feel like the minor arcana for me was always, that's where I always struggled, with a lot of those cards. And just, I've been really focusing on just pulling cards and making connections between them. And this book is just a gem. If you If you've never read this book, it doesn't, if you've been reading tarot for 20 years, if you've been reading for tarot, you know, for 2 months, this book is just, it's invaluable. And I've just been, like I said, loving digging into it and highlighting, which I don't usually do because I'm like a bibliophile and I can't, like, you know, ruin my books. But this one, like, is like so meaty and it like needs it. Like, so I've broken my rule of writing in, I mean, it's pencil, but the highlighter, you know, I've broken my cardinal rule because, like I said, this book deserves to be highlighted and notes and just put into your brain. And so I've been really kind of delving into this and enjoying it, and just, it's been really fun because I've had my good old trusty universal weight deck. This is the first deck I ever had. This is my second copy, my backup copy, just because I don't want to ruin my original. But I've been taking this out and just pulling cards, like 3 card spreads and 9 card spreads, and oh, we got the title card in here. And just, you know, just using it, you know, and focusing on connecting the cards and reading like the 3 cards as, you know, as an entire system, you know, and how they relate to each other. So that's been, it's been great to kind of get back to those basics and like I said, really focus on the minor arcana especially. So I've been loving that, and like I said, just getting back into that. And then in terms of decks, like other decks, might as well talk about decks. So a deck that's a little pretty much newish, probably the newest, you know, one in my collection that is not new by any means, but it's new to me, and that is the Field Tarot. This is US Games, and this deck is definitely different than any deck that I have right now. It's definitely different than what I usually read with. So these are the backs. It's standard US game cardstock, which I happen to, you know, not mind at all. I actually like it. It shuffles really well. I like the size of these US Games decks. So yeah, so basically, this deck is, like I said, definitely different, has a different vibe than what I'm used to working with. I really like the color palette. It reminds me a little bit of the Starseeker Tarot, which I have and love, but it's also like giving me August vibes. Like, I don't know what it is about it, but it kind of reminds me of like the desert. And I know the creator talks about that horizon line, this horizon that's in a lot of the cards, and sort of that field, you know, talking about how the Field Tarot, field stands for like sort of that field that we use tarot on, sort of like the tarot playing field, you know, and laying them out. So it's definitely different. It also reminds me a little of so I had the Fountain Tarot and I rehomed it because I just didn't connect with it at all. So this kind of gives me the Fountain Tarot vibes a little bit, but it's not as much white space. And I think the white space in the Fountain Tarot is kind of what threw me off. It was a little bit too stark for me. This, like I said, is kind of giving me a little bit of Fountain vibes, but like with more color and not as much white space, if that makes any sense. So, yeah, so this is the Field Tarot, and it actually is, let me see if I can get to some of the minor arcana. And like, it is a little pippish, like oddly enough. It's definitely got a little bit of a pip vibe, which I don't usually read pip decks, but really trying to broaden my horizons a little bit. So you can see it's definitely like a little bit pippish. Like, here's the 3 of Wands, but then you have like, you know, other minor arcana cards that, you know, don't look, you know, pippish. So there's like, so, and the other thing that I like about it is the minor arcana does have keywords on it. So this is 5 of Wands and it says competition. So the majors don't, but the minors do. And like I said, I've struggled with with minors in the past, you know, just, I feel like they're, you know, a little bit more challenging. Like the majors, the archetypes, I can definitely wrap my head around those and like the meanings but minor arcana is a little bit tougher. But this, you know, I like that there's a keyword on it. So if it's going to be pippish, which it is, it does have that keyword, you know, which is helpful. So I've been enjoying, you know, sort of getting to know this deck. And like I said, different than things that I have. It does remind me of the Fountain Tarot. Like I said, it gives me a little bit of Star Seeker vibes, which I love the Star Seeker Tarot. So, you know, this one, I think it's good to broaden my horizons, and I think it's good to definitely, you know, try out a deck that's a little bit more pippish, but, you know, still has like a lot of the RWS, like this, you know, that's very, you know, pretty traditional. This one is, you know, the Three of Cups is, you know, is a pretty traditional RWS, but then you have like the Four of Cups here, which is very much, you know, more a pip. But it does, like I said, have those keywords. So it's like it's an interesting mix. Like I said, I'm definitely kind of, you know, definitely looking forward to using this more and kind of see how it fits in. I did rehome the Fountain Tarot, so I'm thinking, you know, this, like I said, might sort of take that place of that, like in this type of vibe. So definitely looking forward to using that. The Field Tarot. It's by Hannah Elizabeth Fofana. But it's beautiful. The artwork is beautiful. Like I said, I like the cardstock. US Games cardstock doesn't bother me. So, and so the other, let's see, deck that I've been really using this month, and really focusing on is really the only other deck that I've pulled out sort of religiously, been using, you know, pretty frequently, is the lovely For Hoxa Tarot. And this is definitely gives me autumn vibes. So I feel like I'm sort of gearing up for that. It's definitely putting me in that space and kind of like getting me into that autumn feel, which is cool. You know, I love autumn. So, you know, this is, you know, the perfect deck for that. And I think I did speak about this deck too. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I posted about it on one of the tarot groups I'm in. Is like the cardstock on this is so slippery. I love the deck, and I just wish it had like matte cardstock. Like I wish, because I do love this and I love the artwork. It's superb, but it's a huge deck. It's oracle size. This is like not standard tarot size at all. And I can bet my hands are like, it's like big for my hands. Like my hand right now is completely like covered by the deck. Like this deck is huge for my little hands, and it's very slippery. So when I shuffle, it just like goes everywhere. It's fun. I mean, I might as well just like throw all the cards, and like that's, you know, that's probably how I should shuffle. But it's really beautiful, and it fans really nice. Like of course it fans out so nice because it's so slippery. But yeah, good luck holding on to this deck. But that being said, it's gorgeous. This is, you know, I have the Crow Tarot. That's the only other tarot by MJ Cullinane that I have. Crow Tarot was one of the, that's one of the first tarot decks I got, you know, when I got back into tarot, was the Crow Tarot, and I do love that, but this is on a different level. The Fae energy is amazing. I just love the feminine, like sort of the defined feminine energy in this deck. This deck is gorgeous. And to me, it's screaming autumn. I don't know about anyone else, but this deck is giving me all the autumn vibes. And like I said, it's just beautiful. The different Fae, I love the different Fae energy. Like all the different like wing types are amazing. Like even though these are like fairy, you know, fairies with wings, and that's how we kind of know that that's what kind of creatures they are. They all have like sort of different wings, and like different shaped wings, you know, which kind of gives us the idea that they're maybe from different, you know, parts of this realm that they inhabit, you know, which is cool, or that they're just, you know, different like species, you know, or races of Fae, you know, which is kind of cool. They're, you know, they're like a diverse group of Fae, you know, which is cool. And I love the Fae energy. Tarot of the Hidden Realms, like pretty much my favorite deck. You know, which is it's very different, but it's still, you know, Fae energy. But this deck is gorgeous. I can't, the backs, I just love everything about it. I just wish it was matte. I just wish it was matte cardstock. Like the Urban Crow Oracle, like, which pairs amazing with this deck, obviously, by the same creator. That's the other deck that I've been using just because I've been pairing them quite a bit. So the Urban Crow Oracle, which this is the mass market edition, which the cardstock is amazing. It's this matte cardstock, and I'm like, can we just get the For Hoxa in this cardstock? It would be like the perfect deck. Like I said, I love the For Hoxa, don't get me wrong. It's gorgeous. I really am liking it, but this, this is the same size. This Urban Crow Oracle is the same size as the For Hoxa, and if we could just get it in this matte cardstock, the For Hoxa, it would be just amazing. Like, but this Urban Crow deck is very cool. I love this deck. I'm really connecting with it because, you know, I live in New York. So, you know, so many decks don't have that sort of urban feel. You know, a lot of decks don't have that urban feel. You know, they have more of that forest, country, you know, countryside feel. But this deck, you know, is definitely, you know, meant for the urban crows. The crow, you know, those urban city dwellers like myself. So yeah, so this deck is really, you know, like, again, I'm connecting a lot with this. I like this energy. I like the scenery because it relates, you know, it's very relatable for me because of where I am. But yeah, I love this. And like I said, if the Four Hoxa was this matte cardstock, that deck would be like my #1 deck. And I do love it. Like I said, please don't get me wrong. It's just so slippery. Look, look, look. It just fell all over the place. It just fell all over. I just literally dropped the whole deck because it's so slippery, like I was saying. So, like I said, I do love it. You know, don't get me wrong, I love it. It's just so slippery. My poor little hands can't hold on to it, but it's gorgeous. And I'm gonna continue using it, like I said. Look at this Ace of Air. Look at that. Like, yeah. So it's definitely giving me fall vibes, like Halloween Samhain vibes. Look at all those spiders. Like oh, look at this one. 5 of Air. I mean, it's screaming. The more I'm like holding them up now and like studying each one, even though I've been using it, I'm like, yes, Samhain, Halloween vibes. Like, I feel like this is gonna be like the star deck for this time of year, definitely. So yeah, I love it. I love this deck. Gorgeous. Just different cardstock, please. Maybe for people with small hands because it's such a big deck. But yeah, so the Four Hoxa and the Urban Crow Oracle. So I've been using those together. Like I said, obviously they pair beautifully together because it's the same creator. So it kind of makes sense. But Four Hoxa Tarot. And like I said, the Urban Crow Oracle is the new mass market. So I was happy I was able to get this at my local bookstore. I was really kind of excited that I was able to pick this up because I do love it. And like I said, it kind of resonates. So, but that's pretty much it in terms of the things for August, all the things for August, the things that I've been loving. You know, of course, I've been loving watching my fun YouTube and tarot tube videos, you know, just sort of checking in with Simon at the Hermit's Cave, of course, as usual, and just his cup of ketchup and cards. I love that. And 3 Fat Readers was on today. And Lisa at Supportive Tarot is like a favorite. Kelly, of course, at The Truth and Story is like the OG for me, the OG tarot tuber for me. So yeah, just in Tarot and Witchery put out a great video about sort of along the same lines of deck overwhelm, just consumerism. So I will definitely link that below because that resonated with me. I was actually listening to that earlier today when I was getting ready for the day, and it really resonated. It really resonated with me because I'm having a lot of the same feelings, and I talked a little bit about that. But so Tarot and Witchery, again, she's got this great video about consumerism. So if that's something that, you know, you're struggling with, or, you know, that you maybe, you know, kind of have questions about as they relates to you, it's good to kind of hear everyone's perspective and about, you know, these types of things. And again, no judgment for people who have giant tarot collections and you know, are able to use them and rotate them out. You know, for me, it just doesn't work. And that's just a personal, you know, thing. But, you know, finding what works for you and getting back to that tarot passion is like important. So, so yeah, so enjoying Tarot Tube as usual. And I think that's it as far as things that are favorites. The only other thing that happened in August was I chopped off a lot of inches of hair. So I'm actually loving my new haircut. I feel like lighter and it's great. It's easy to maintain. I'm enjoying this new hairdo that I have here. I had long hair for a very long time. So I cut off several inches of hair, but I'm liking it. And so that's another favorite is my new hair from August. So so I hope you have a beautiful rest of August. There's only a few days left and it is September, which means the fall's coming. So I hope you guys have a wonderful end to your summer, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.